Hey everybody, Steve Huber here with Billion Dollar Contractor. And if I've not met you before, my name is Steve. I've been in home improvement now for 15 years. I've been managing folks for almost 20 years. And I just want to kind of share a story today about how my journey into sales management started. And it's because, so many of you are starting in the same place where it's funny, like most people don't grow up thinking I'm going to become a sales manager. They kind of get thrown into it one day. And that certainly was the case with me. I had just gotten married and I worked at a restaurant. Somebody came into the restaurant and said, "Hey Steve, you'd be really good at insurance. We typically only hire with referral only, and you should really come in and check us out." And that's how I got into sales. Was I was recruited out of a restaurant to sell insurance. And I just grinded. Like I just grinded for a year. I ran appointments and I followed the script. And I was like really naive and just went out and tried it, and saw what happened. So a year later, I had made like some money. Like I was doing kind of okay. I think it was like 21 at the time, something like that. And they said, "Hey, we need somebody to run our Portland office. How'd you like to move to Portland and run the office? We need you to do it." And I was like, I don't know. Like I'm 21. I'm trying to manage a bunch of people. They're like, "Yeah, you're gonna do it." So anyways, we moved to Portland, and I didn't get a lot of mentorship or a lot of, I should say, the mentorship I got really wasn't great for me. Um, Literally, I'll give you an example. My boss at the time, I was struggling hiring people, and he's like, "You know what you need to do, Steve, is you need to put a safe in the corner of your office, and you need to put $10,000 in cash in the safe. And when the new guy comes in and you want to take him out to lunch, and he's broke and he doesn't know what he's doing, you need to say, 'I got it today, no problem,' and go get go get some money out of the safe. And when you open up the safe." And they see this big pile of cash sitting in your safe in your office, they're going to be so excited to come work for you. Like this is literally how I was told to hire and recruit and train people and motivate people, was to have a safe in my office with a big pile of cash in it. And needless to say, it didn't work. Like broke Steve didn't have 10 grand to throw in a safe in his office. And it sucked. Like I just grinded. And a couple years later, I just quit. Like I was done. I was hiring. Well, first off, I couldn't really hire anybody because I couldn't recruit anybody because I didn't really believe what was happening. I didn't have good mentorship or systems in place. I just kind of got thrown into this thing and told to figure it out. Every time I asked for help, I got the expression "fake it till you make it." And needless to say, I couldn't hire people, and so therefore I couldn't fire people. The only people that stayed around and worked with me were people that had no other options. It was a bunch of D players. They'd miss meetings, they'd flake on their appointments, they give me all kinds of excuses. In fact, we had a running joke, the guy next door to me, about all the excuses that our employees would give us. My grandma was mugged, my dog barfed all over my stuff. Literally there's like a bunch of excuses. It was hilarious at the time, but looking back, it was really kind of sad. I was just grinding against the wall, managing these D players. And so anyways, I quit. I literally quit. I turned my phone off, and I got a desk job selling solar. And that's how I got into the solar industry. Was I started off just literally selling. I was like, I don't want to manage people. I just want to sell. Let me sit here. Leave me alone. I don't want to be in management anymore. And anyways, I'd switched companies, and this new company that me and some friends went to, they said, "Hey, we need somebody to run this team. Like, you can't have six of you guys that are selling and no manager. One of you has to be the manager." And they're like, "Hey, Steve, we want you to be the manager. You're pretty good at dealing with corporate and talking to these guys." I said, "Okay, fine, no problem. I'll be the manager, I guess." I talked to my wife, and she was like, "I don't really want you to do it," and because she knew how upset I was and burnt out and just fried from managing people from the time before. But I said, "I think it's going to be different this time. I'm not going to allow myself to work with D players. I'm just not. Like I was an A player sales rep. All the guys I was with were A player sales reps. And I said, we're going to build a culture purely around A players. Like if you're a C player, you literally are not going to work here. You're going to get fired and not work here. And it's because I didn't want to manage D players. And so we built a culture from ground zero with that idea that if you want to be an A player, if you want to be awesome, you don't want to be micromanaged, you don't want to have to be fighting over people. We used to have a saying, you know, you got to sell to be in sales, and you can't do dumb things. You do those two things, there's not a lot of rules. So don't do dumb things and make sure you sell. You do that, you're going to fit in here just a-okay. And we took a sales department that was non-existent from literally zero to we were doing 50 and 60 million dollars a year out of that department. By the way, this is over the phone home improvement sales. Literally nobody in the industry even thought you could do that. And so then they promoted me to run the entire company's sales. And we blew it up. It was amazing. And so that was my philosophy for the last 10 years. And it led to me doing over $2 billion worth of home improvement sales. I've been on the Inc. 5000 award list 7 times, 3-time winner of the Dealer of the Year award through Owens Corning, and 3-time #1 solar and storage contractor through Solar Power World. And it's not me. It's not like I went out there and sold all this business. I had really great teams, but I had learned like how not to run a team. And so in my journeys, I met so many sales managers that were just like me when I first started. Like they literally got thrown into their job. They were working in marketing. I have a client of mine. They have a VP of sales. They had who was working in marketing. Their last VP of sales quit, and they said, "Hey, we need you to go run sales." And so this poor lady got dropped into sales with no nothing, like no mentorship, no guidance, no plan, like literally just here you go. And she was overwhelmed because sales is hard. Like being a good sales manager is actually really friggin' hard. You have to be great at sales, which is like an art, and then you have to be great at managing people. And those two things rarely go together well. You're either great at managing people but not good at selling, or you're good at selling but you suck at managing people. And so this poor lady was literally tossed into like the most important position in the company with no mentorship or guidance, and it didn't go well. I have another company that their head of operations had to go run sales. Never been in sales before, and it's really hard to be a great sales manager if you don't understand salespeople. So anyways, that's why we started $1 Billion Contractor, was to help sales managers and help sales companies fix that problem of not having great mentorship or support systems in place for their sales managers. And it's because I did it. And so if you're in that spot right now, or if you're running a company and the guy running your sales team is struggling, like, I have another client of mine, they didn't hire a person for 6 years. That sucks. Like, it really sucks. It's not fair to the company to do that and just not grow and be lost. And it's really not fair to your manager. At some point, they're going to get burnt out. They're going to be like, all I do is fail. All I do is manage D players. This sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And they're going to do what I did, which is quit and leave you in a tough spot. And nobody wins in that case. When I got burnt out and fried and I left, my company didn't win. They lost an awesome A player salesperson. And I probably wasn't a great manager for a whole lot of folks. I certainly didn't win because I had to go back and give up on my dream. I literally moved out of Portland. I went back to Sacramento and had to start all over again from ground zero. I learned a ton in the process, and ultimately it got me where I'm at today. But it doesn't have to be that way. So that's my long-winded way of saying, again, if you're in sales today, if you're a sales manager and you just got thrown into your spot and thrown into your position, it's hard. Like, I totally get it. You need to find a mentor and somebody that can work with you to help give you the guide and help show you the vision and roadmap for where you need to go. If you're an owner of a company and you have just tossed somebody into sales without that vision, without that roadmap, without that mentorship, it's not going to go well for you. You have to have somebody in that spot, or somebody that understands how to create a sales department running sales. If you don't, it's going to be really, really tough. So anyways, get a mentor. Biggest thing I can tell you, and make sure that they're actually looking out for your best interest. If they tell you to put 10 grand in the safe and that's the great way to hire people, do what I should have done. stop listening. But if you need any help, if this story resonates with you at all, check out billiondollarcontractor.com. We can't work with everybody. We can't fix everyone's problems, but we may be able to fix yours. So fill out the form. We'll call you. We'll see if it's a good fit for everybody. And if we can help you out, awesome. We'd love to work with you. If we can't, we'd love to point you in the right direction and just say, hey, we're not the right fit for you right now, but here's some other resources and some other things we tried. We just want to see you win. So go in, kick ass, and I'll catch you next time.